Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for over a year and 2 months and counting, because that's right, the daily stream streak remains strong. I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next, approximately 1 hour and a couple of minutes for today's coffee break. But before we begin the general Q&A, let me start with a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, Mamori. Congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Secondarily, Rune, 369 Destroyer, Blue Phantom, Senior Researcher Alex, Puppet Boy. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, interns, Artist Rain, 100 Stars, Ethics Committee, Wyatt Taylor, the Aunt Minty, Andrea, Musical Sand, 053, 051, the Founder, Long Guy, Blake L, Zen Vigilante, Elizabeth Lavender, Strangest of Creatures, Quinn's Arcade, Winston Wells, Hunter Mark, Akari. Thank you for all being here punctually, and thank you for being here, interns, just for being you. Now, today's stream subject, before we get to the Q&A. Yes, it is true. The Pope has vocally endorsed, in a manner of speaking, the SCP Foundation, specifically the SCP Wiki. The SCP Wiki is papally approved. What do I mean by this? You may not be familiar with how our new Pope, Pope Leo the 14th, has been ongoing in his battle against artificial intelligence. The Pope has been swinging baseball bats. The Chicago Pope is grumpy about AI. Several posts about how AI, we should not pretend it's morally neutral. How art created by AI is without soul. And so, yesterday, the Pope speaks out. Dear writers, we need your imagination, your narrative creativity, and your lively thinking. We need these to create spaces of freedom and authenticity within which divine grace can make the promise of consolation and peace resound. Or, dear writers, don't even think about using AI. And so, of course, we all know what this truly means. Chicago Pope shocks all, says SCP authors will see the light of heaven. So, yes, I don't choose myself to be a very religious person. After all, when the SCP Foundation contains so many different so-called deities, including living 6 iterations of Jesus that are currently alive and in containment, as well as multiple others that are dead and or working for staff. Way too many G's, can I just say. When you contain that many deities, you're not really a religious person by trade. Most of us aren't, anyways, here at the Foundation. Some are oddballs. Some still have their little superstitious beliefs, but we'll let that be them. We're not hating. But yes, being papally approved, having Vatican approval, that does make things easier for the SCP Foundation. So, congratulations, SCP authors. You will see the light of heaven, despite all claims otherwise. And that's pretty much all I have for you today. I just thought it was very funny that the Pope approves of writing and art, disapproves of AI, and by process of elimination of association, that means the SCP Wiki is Pope approved. Now I'm going to catch up on the donations and we will enjoy a short coffee break before I get to today's work. Senior Researcher Alex, thank you for sending 36 stars, the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. This means that they have gained multiple prestige ranks, but have ended up as a 1-star team at the end of the day. So that's the lowest possible ranking. I'm just saying, chat, you want to be a 5-star Containment Hazard Assessment Team. So I look forward to seeing if you can get that done before the end of stream. 053 the Kid, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself an omelette de fromage on your way past the commissary. 053 the Kid says, please surrender SCP-72. Oh! My SJ! Really? First thing in the morning? Or else, what do you plan to do with it? Because you know as well as I do, the other overseers will not approve of its decommissioning. So we cannot destroy anomalies no matter how horrible they are without special permissions. So what do you plan to do with it? Intern David Trivingard, is what for real? Please elaborate on your question so I can clarify for you. Intern Zinxies, thank you for sending a flower to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they find it very pretty. Is Shadow the Hedgehog considered an SCP? Intern Daisy, you have to ask yourself 3 questions to get the answer to that. Number 1, are they anomalous? Now, Shadow the Hedgehog, very anomalous. You can check that box. Is Shadow the Hedgehog on the SCP database? I do not know the answer to this, but I do know how to find out by searching said database. So what happens if I search the database for Shadow the Hedgehog using the search function? Shadow the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is mentioned a couple of times, but no, Shadow the Hedgehog is not mentioned on the SCP database. And therefore, the third checkbox, is Shadow the Hedgehog on the SCP database an SCP? Well, the answer again is no. Anomalous Researcher. My favorite SCPs are always said at the end of stream. It's a tradition around the stream parts. So you can wait till the end of stream, which is in about an hour, or you can skip to the end of stream. Sorry, not skip to the end of skip to the end of a previous stream if you want to cheat and see it early. Or you can donate a super chat or a Ko-Fi and ask, and then in return for your generosity, I'll say so early. You have your options, let them go. 369 Destroyer, thank you for your 7 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. SCP 3740, codename God is Dumb, is my favorite deity we contain. Well, there are quite a lot of them, and so I guess if we're picking favorite gods, like certain people pick favorite Pokemon, then I guess that's an option. It's not too harmful. 053 the Kid, thank you for donating again to say, I am immune to SCP-7... Oh, I should have known this was coming. That thing, and I just want it. No. No. You don't get to just want it and have it. That's not how the SCP Foundation works. That horrible abomination, as terrible as it is the property of Dr. Hessen. You would need to conform with Dr. Hessen to take it as a gift, and since Dr. Hessen likes it so much, somehow, the answer will probably be no. How is the Foundation so dumb that they haven't figured out to just close one eye at a time? Intern B, you are probably a child for the simplicity of your thinking. Let's think about this rationally. Humans typically, naturally, blink both eyes at a time. This is standard behavior for human beings unless you severely practice alternating your blinking. Now you might notice that every so often when I alternate my blinks, the other eye naturally blinks because the neurons in your brain are linked between your two eyes, so they blink together. You have to practice very hard to be able to blink one eye at a time, consistently, without any micro blinks screwing it up. It's not as easy as you say it is. Chill. Jeez Louise. Intern Hunter Mark, thank you. You try doing that under stress and come back to me. Exactly. Intern Catnap. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Could you physically hold one eye open while you blink the other? That would be more acceptable. The likelihood of your keeping this open is more likely to succeed. So yes, that would be more likely than the other alternative that was handed. 053 to Kid. Thank you for donating again to say. I did. She agree you have transfer papers. I will check them on my desk when I get there after the coffee break, because the likelihood of Dr. Hessen giving that up is very low. I'm going to have to investigate to see if your transferred papers are legitimate. I'm going to have to ask Dr. Hessen directly, of course. Sorry, what is the title? What's this about the Pope? This is what you all get for not showing up punctually, might I add. The Pope, who is, of course, our favorite Chicago Pope, is on a tirade against artificial intelligence, both the companies and the creation of AI art, as saying that humans should create art, not AI, and wrote a post saying that artists and authors and writers are blessed for the creations they create artistically and the freedom of expression. Which, of course, means that the SCP Wiki, a creative community of artists and authors, is blessed by the Vatican. The Chicago Pope blesses the SCP Wiki. We are Vatican approved. There we go. Dr. Sherman, is it okay to show SCP-096's picture to my enemies? No, intern Larry, because that would cause a containment breach. The anomaly would get out. That would be bad. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating for the first time today, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some chicken fried rice on your way past the commissary. Fight, good fight, even if lose, good fight. Hashtag SCP the movie. Yes. Even if we failed to successfully fund SCP movie this time, the crew at Keter Labs will learn from their mistakes and come back stronger next time. I will, of course, be assisting them in this manner so that their next Kickstarter has less bumps in the road to face. We will smooth the road so we can have an SCP movie in theaters. I also just got some intel on a upcoming SCP filmic project. I cannot reveal it yet, but I'll just let you know something is coming. And of course, Mobile Task Force Psi-42 codename Signal Boosters. When I can reveal that to you, I will also be expecting your service in spreading the word. As always, Mobile Task Force Psi-42 codename the Signal Boosters, along with the rest of the staff at Site-42, will successfully get an SCP movie made before I am done being a content creator. Intern Tim, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a handful of almonds on your way past the commissary. Are we moving on to the stream subject yet? Because what is this about the Pope? Intern Harry, we have already talked to the stream subject twice. This is what you get for not being punctual to stream. I will say it one more time and then I'm leaving it alone for a while. The Pope, who is from Chicago, so we call him Chicago Pope, is anti-AI, which we stan, and is sending out tweets of support to artists and writers of all types, saying don't use AI, your own personal creations from your mind, from your heart, from your soul, are given divine grace. And so, our message of the day from the Pope is the SCP Wiki is papally approved. Thank you, Chicago Pope. SCP authors will see the light of heaven. Intern Rosemary, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will appreciate having to clean up yet another glitter bomb. Dingle Bob, thank you for sending a crisp high five to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will appreciate said crisp high five. Researcher Memori, welcome back to Level 1 Researchership at here Site 42. We appreciate your newly reminted membership and service. Intern Zach, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have now made them a 2-star ranking team. They will, hopefully, continue to grow in the ranks to be a 5-star chat. I see a Ko-Fi notification. Let me grab that before I forget it exists. Kitty Fly, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. And thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which, as we all know, only takes 3% of your donation as a service charge, whilst YouTube Super Chats take 30% of your donation so that YouTube can line its coffers. We therefore appreciate you making the effort to make your donation go further. Grab yourself a Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken, on your way past the commissary. If someone on the complete opposite side of the world sees a picture of SCP-096, would just burrow through the earth rather than make the trip around. No, it can run faster than it can burrow, so it would run. Intern Tim, thank you for donating again to say. What happens if SCP-999 is molded onto SCP-72? What? Why? 9. That's J. We have already exposed SCP-999 to that horrid abomination. It is listed in the documentation for that horrid abomination. I will read now from the documentation of that horrid abomination. As soon as I find it. SCP-999 test. Effects. SCP-999 experienced a chromatic shift to a pale yellow complexion following exposure to that abomination, resulting in temporary immobilization and unexpectedly vanishing through rapid evaporation, subsequently reintegrating within its designated containment area, refraining from human action for the ensuing 24-hour period. Note from researcher. SCP-999 could do that? I request a proposal to test more SCPs with that horrid abomination to reveal more of their, quote, hidden talents. Signed, Dr. Avon Lee. Note from 051. Are you fucking insane? So yes, we've already run that test. Now you know what will happen. Intern Zach, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a... No, they're still a 2-star team. That's the 2-star. Rosemary made you a 3-star team, I see. 3-star team from Rosemary. You're almost to the 5-star ranking. You're halfway there, living on a prayer. Skyro, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a deviled crab on your way past the commissary. There's always a way to get the movie funded. I personally hope they'll try something with Patreon. Monthly, yearly fees could be reliable, I reckon. It is rather difficult for Patreon because you, depending on the project, you expect to see, I guess you'd have to see the project reports, the progress reports. And the thing is, movies require a very large upfront investment. That's the only problem, is they need a rather large upfront investment to afford to start production. So Patreon does make movies rather difficult, but to the best of our ability, we can give that a try. I'm sure they are going to be talking to investors as well as a Patreon as they can. Is it practice time? Or is it just treat for the baby time?
Just restocking your treat pile.
Okay. So this is a friendly visit from Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, who has returned from a field mission to say hello to you. And of course, besides attention from the chat, which Charlie requires greatly every day, to the best of her ability, she also, of course, receives her daily treat from the chat. A happy little sweetie pumpkin around Site 42. and then freedom. Whee! And now for my allergies, and we will continue. Please remember, chat, Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, is Charlie without the E, and if possible, when writing, a heart over the I. The sweetest pumpkin at Site 42 must be addressed correctly, of course. Now, where were we? 053 the Kid. Thank you for donating twice again. One of those times to say 053 Kid says, Dr. Sherman Heston not giving it up. We're taking her to Site 00 for questioning to see if SCP-729... Fuck. I forgot you were talking about that. Ow. Pardon me. That fucking thing. Can destroy SCP-001 redacted. Also, fellow council donate. You are not absconding with Dr. Hessen. Their research is very important. Nuh-uh. No, you are not. I will refuse, and I will start a complaint up the chain of command. Pardon me. God damn that thing. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again to say. Honestly, we should make a hashtag like SCP Never Dies. Not exactly that because Technoplate has one, but you know, rally cry after SCP the movie failed. Well, we need to wait until there's a next step from the Containment Breach to Movie team so we can know where to divert our energies. So let's wait until we hear what their next step is so we can support that. Intern Lucifer, thank you for sending 2 flow states the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will doubly lock in at your urging. I wonder what would happen if SCP-105, codename Iris, photographed SCP-3930, the pattern Screamer, and reached her hand through the photo. Only because Iris serves on a mobile task force am I not castigating you for referring to an anomaly with improper pronouns. Now, clearly, because Iris's ability allows their hand to go through a photo and appear in the place that photograph was taken, that would mean Iris's hand and probably the rest of Iris would cease to exist, which would be bad. So do not give Iris a photo of 3930. It's very simple. 053 the Kid, thank you for donating in to say, okay, we won, take her just clone. I am warning you. We are not accepting a clone of Dr. Hessen. You will not mess with the sanctity of Site 42 and its staff, or any staff within our boundaries. Watch your tone. The SCP Foundation follows protocols, and you are breaking said protocols. There will be trouble. Intern Matthew Burr, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. Rosemary, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a 5-star team. Or sorry, no, I said that wrong. No, they are a 5-star team thanks to your work. Good job, Rosemary. They are now a 5-star Containment Hazard Assessment team. For the time being, we'll see how long they can hold on to it. Intern Furries, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a quiche on your way past the commissary, but only if you have the responsibility to take care of it. And hey, it's been a while. Hope you've been doing well. Is there an SCP that is a portal to a fantasy world? There are several. But I would go with first, a hero is born. A hero is born. SCP-1230. You read the book, and then in your dreams, you go to a fantasy world. A very dramatic, realistic fantasy world. There's also the SCP bookends, which take you, SCP-826, which teleport you inside of a book that you put between the bookends. So there are two anomalies, 1230 and 826, that are portals to fantasy worlds. You're welcome. Intern Dinos, thank you for sending 2 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They are now a 2-star team. They've got another prestige rank, which is nice, but now they're ranked at 2 again. So chat, let's see if you can find your way back up to 5 stars eventually. 053 the Kid, thank you for donating again to say. Dr. Sherman, I was a kid, they shive in tech they owe. I actually don't understand what you mean right there. I need you to fix your typos. Rosemarie, thank you for sending 2 stars to Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They are now a 4-star team. That much closer to a 1-star team. Then Dinos, thank you for sending 3 stars, giving them a prestige rank, but resetting them to a 2-star team. A 2-star team, they need 3 more stars to become a 5-star chat. Mamori, thank you for your 8 months as a level 1 researcher. Now that you've reminted it, we thank you for your membership and service. Would you ever accept an invite to join the Global Occult Coalition? No. No. Their mission statement to destroy anomalies is against mine, which is to research and study them. I am loyal to the Foundation. Don't test me. Intern Gabe, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Choco Taco on your way past the commissary. Would 096 attack you if you imagined its face perfectly, even if you never saw its face before? Gabe, that is impossible to do. Your brain is like a computer in that it contains the information it contains. It does not contain information you did not intake. You cannot dream or imagine 096's face exactly correct because you can only use the tools that are in your brain, the face shapes that are already there. When you dream, you do not dream new faces. You dream configurations of faces you know from the past, either inserting people you know in the dream or mixing up people you know to make a new person. So this is a hypothetical I do not need to entertain because it's impossible to imagine its face perfectly. So don't worry about it. Is SCP-096 able to be eliminated or neutralized? Just asking is all. Intern Fruit Clown. SCP-096 in some parts of the multiverse of SCP has managed to be destroyed through extremely difficult means. It is possible, but most SCP foundations value SCP-096 as a research subject and therefore would not attempt to decommission it. The sacrifice of the people who die during containment breaches is considered a general, what's the word I'm looking for? Collateral damage that we are fine with. Jesus loves you. Intern Mateus, which Jesus? The SCP Foundation contains 6 iterations of Jesus. SCP-029 Uber Driver Jesus, SCP-3305 Bread Jesus, SCP-4477 Cockblock Jesus, SCP-5991, Vor Jesus. SCP-6542, Milk Jesus, aka Cheesus. And SCP-7966, codename Jim Davis, creator of Garfield, who is actually Jesus. On top of which, our researcher, Dr. Sophia Light, is another iteration of Jesus, but she is not contained. She is a staff member. There's also the several copies of the dead body bones of Jesus Christ that are bird bones for some reason. But there's like 30 of those. And we also have 50 little rubber figurines that think that they are Jesus Christ, and they argue with each other over who's the real Jesus. We are littered with Jesus. So which one? Which of all of these Jesus, actual or fraudulent, should we accept love from? You have to be specific. Oh 53 the Kid, thank you for donating again to say, Dr. Sherman, that's a lie if you dream of future 096. That makes no sense. What do you mean dream of future 096? Now, if you were to get some sort of prophetic dream, some sort of telepathy future sight, where you were seeing a vision of the future, then of course you could see 096 in your dream because it's not your dream. It's a prophecy. It's a vision. That's different than a dream. We don't count those. Intern Furries, thank you for donating again to say, time to go to SCP-826 and put a D&D book in it. Bye. All right, be careful. This chat is too fast for some people. Well, Intern Martin, I mean, we do have 75 people here. We had 100 people earlier. Even with slow mode on, people are just excited to talk about the SCP Foundation. Honestly, I don't think it's going too fast for me to notice. I mean, obviously, I don't see everything. Desk, you're saying there's a Ko-Fi notification I missed? No, there is no Ko-Fi desk. I've seen that one. Unless that was from a while ago. Was that from a while ago? No, that was from 2 minutes ago. There's no Ko-Fi right now. Maybe Kitty Fly missed that I read their donation. Gaming Bacon and Rosemary, thank you for giving 2 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They are now a 4-star ranked team. Maybe they can make 5-star again. What if you put the nerfing gun into SCP-914? Will it turn into the buffing gun? And turn Hydro Flash? That is a possibility of what may take place. But then we would lose the nerfing gun. Therefore, we would not run that test, pardon me. Are my haunted dolls anomalous? Intern Silly Core. Think with your thinking brain. Haunted dolls are clearly anomalous, yes. Are there any SCPs who inexplicably teleport somewhere else when taken to a facility's range and are or touched by staff at will? At all? Intern Thorn. I don't know if we have anything that specific when it comes to like why they teleport. Obviously, we have SCP-507, the Reluctant Dimension Hopper, who is a human being who teleports at random intervals to random dimensions. We have other teleporting anomalies, of course. But I don't know if there's anything that specific as to your question. By the way, Site 42 staff, we are currently approximately 30 minutes from the end of stream. 30 minutes from the end of stream. What if SCP-4666 went to the back rooms? Well, in turn, Citrus Orange, don't forget SCP-4666 is one of those aforementioned teleporters, which means it would easily evade any entities or people within, and it could probably find its way out very quickly. Intern Shadonic, why do you want to know if I am gay? Are you hitting on me? Sorry, you're not my type. Now, I could say that I am, in fact, asexual, part of the LGBTQIA at the end there. But really, due to the way you speak, I can tell even if I don't have a type, you're not it. Intern Stein, your weekly coded slurs have gotten you banned from the channel. I hope you act better in the future, the next time, because you're not talking here again. But yes, I am in a rainbow coat because we are celebrating Pride Month. And in fact, I did forget to mention, remember, SCP Pride Fest 2026 is still ongoing. And that includes 2 Pride features that I haven't mentioned yet. What's Up with All the Reality Benders by Ralliston, a study into why reality bender populations are growing in the world of the Broken Masquerade, and SCP-5881, which is actually just a normal story with non-binary SCP researchers. So it's the kind of representation where it is just a normal story with some non-binary researchers. So no themes, just staff who are in the LGBTQIA community. I'd have been quicker on that. I had to look it up. Gonna have to refresh myself on up-to-date slurs. Well, I mean, that one was not so much a new slur as it was just like someone, pardon the wordage, someone typing BRIT for Dr. Bright because they know they're not allowed to say Dr. Bright, the name. And so they try to skirt the rules. NICCA. Does that sound similar to any slur they might be trying to say? Maybe with 2 different rounded consonants in the middle? That's what they were saying. It's their get it past the filters slur. That shirt is zesty AF. Well, thank you, Intern James. It's a very good shirt, and then my lab coat, in addition, is quite a cunning fit, I say. Intern Thorn, why can we not say DB, as in Dr. Bright? Intern Thorn, you might be new to the channel, that's fair. So it is a rule here at Site 42, as well as on the SCP Wiki nowadays, that the character of Dr. Bright and the cheap, flimsy replacement Dr. Shaw are no longer allowed to be used. This is because the author of Dr. Bright, who used Dr. Bright as an author insert character, was banned from the SCP Wiki for huge allegations of grooming and pedo stuff. On top of which, the character of Dr. Bright was also used in those allegations because the author would send replicas of the Dr. Bright amulet to people to wear when taking nudes for them because it was a possession fetish. So, that being the case, it is uncool for the victims as well as everyone else to have to non-willingly take place in that possession fetish by using the character. So the character has been banned. We do not talk about Bruno anymore. For more intel on the situation, Desk is sharing a link in the chat to a video on this channel called The Last Death of Dr. Jack Bright. And that video contains a quick summary of the situation, as well as links to deeper evidence in the description. Please enjoy that video. And remember, we do not talk about Dr. Bright or Dr. Shaw here at Site 42. Intern Teddy Boys, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a blueberry muffin on your way past the commissary. Morning, Dr. Sherman. If you were made of stone, what color would you be? Imagine being made of marble. That would totally rock. Hee hee. Hee hee indeed, nice pun. But I would venture to say that if I were to be a statue of some sort, the rock I would be made of is gold. I am a Leo after all. Intern Gabe, thank you for donating again to say. Can you tell SCP-096 I think he's beautiful? SCP-096 is an it, not a he. It is an object in containment. Do not humanize the anomalies. They're not he's or she's, they are its. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Even if no one else does. It needs some happy in its life. It is not even sentient, to our knowledge. All it does is sit there, cry, and murder. It will not understand the words you are saying. Monster Check, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. And hey, it has been a minute. Hope you've been doing well. Grab yourself a calming jasmine tea on your way past the commissary. Back from my longer than needed mandated time off. Why are we wearing rainbow? Well, for a couple more days, it is Pride Month, amigo, amiga, amigu. And so, we are celebrating Pride for a couple more days. Intern Alki, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have made them a 5-star team yet again. Congratulations, chat, on being a 5-star Containment Hazard Assessment team. Shermpai. Yes, I noticed you, I guess. Do you intend to do more in the field streams again? I missed those. Dr. Vincent Wren, as my rehab improves, as I'm able to walk more thoroughly, yes, I do intend to do some more in the field streams. I have some ideas I'm spitballing. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, I completely forgot about Pride. Anything interesting happened? Well, it's never dull at the SCP Foundation, especially at Site 42. I mean, just yesterday, we got papal approval. The Pope approves of the SCP Foundation. That's pretty crazy. Teddy Boys, thank you for donating again to say, gold is an incredibly soft metal. Wouldn't be good. Well, we could... I mean, I am also a researcher. I am not especially well-versed in combat, and I am not a high constitution role character, so to speak. So, the statue being a bit squishy actually would make sense. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, did you need my help? The Pope approved of us. Well, I mean, your help would have been valuable, as is all SCP Foundation staff members. The more we have, the stronger we are together. And yes, the Pope did in fact say in a declaration yesterday, dear writers, we need your imagination, your narrative creativity, and your lively thinking. We need these to create spaces of freedom and authenticity within which divine grace can make the promise of consolation and peace resound. So, Chicago Pope shocks all, says SCP authors will see the light of heaven. It's good news, everyone. Good news, everyone! I missed this. Rehab, what happened? Eternus Transmographus. Back in 2024, August to October of 2024, I was working out too much. I was doing a morning gym routine upper body day, lower body day, running and stretching day. I also was doing my cover job as a ballroom dance instructor, 3 days a week, 8 hours a day of dancing. And I tacked on extra bar classes to try to up my agility and endurance. And it was working quite well, except my ankle couldn't handle it. And so my Achilles tendon got very irritated. My foot swelled up the size of a grapefruit, and I could not walk for several months. By the time I recovered, I had still very much cane walking, limping, and I put on about 30 pounds of drinking due to boredom, having to sit on a couch and recover. So we have been in a long-term rehab since October of 2024 to rehabilitate my ankle so I could walk and to get back into fighting shape. It now speeded up very recently to the point where I've dropped about 20 pounds and am able to walk a lot more, including special shoes that allow me to walk more thoroughly. And so, bit by bit, we are getting stronger and back in shape, at which point a field mission walking around the local city of San Francisco could be very fun. And I could take you on a tour of anomalies of San Francisco. And a reminder, everyone, you can also join the Foundation Fitness Initiative. The Foundation Fitness Initiative is our Gym Gains wing of Site 42. You should hit to the gym because nerds can still be swole. Trust me, when I get back to where I was before the injury, you are going to see some fitness pics. Because the swole is returning. And you can also purchase the Foundation Fitness Initiative t-shirt at our link that Desk has shared in the chat. This is available for your gym shirt needs if you would like to. Wholly pre-recorded. Intern, dude, what are you talking about? You don't see me actually talking to the chat that is right here? Use your brain. Use your brain. Monster Check, thank you for donating twice to say, oh wow, well, thank you. And anyways, what is the purpose of Pride Month? All I see is rainbow. I'm not trying to be rude, just curious. So, Monster Check. In the United States especially, Pride Month, although it is a worldwide phenomenon, is a celebration of the LGBTQIA community with the intended purpose to normalize their visibility in public so that people stop thinking them as others and therefore discriminating against them. This is similar to what happened with African American people with Black History Month in America. Intern Squirrely, yes, gay, that is the goal here. What happens is when people do not know Black people, when people do not know LGBTQIA people, they see them as others, they see them outside of their mental circle of people who exist, and they treat them differently. But when more Black people were shown on television, when more LGBTQIA people were featured in television shows, in stories, and movies, they were more accepted by people. They were not seen as other, they were just seen as normal people, which is the goal of visibility and acceptance. Lol, 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 they should all send you to an Islamic country. Intern Squirrely, so you are a douchebag, I see. So A, you're the kind of people we are trying to convert, so stop being a dick, please. Secondarily, when religious fundamentalists like Christians try to harm LGBTQIA people, I hear you're silent. So, shut the fuck up is what I say to you. Conservative Christians are just as bad as conservative Islamists. In the same token, not conservative Christians are just as kind to LGBTQIA people as non-conservative Islamists and non-conservative Christians. It's not the religion, It's the fundamentalism. So, shut the fuck up and get in line with the proper perspective. So yes, Pride Month, Monster Check, thank you for donating again to continue this conversation. That's it? I thought it was already a norm. Yes, unfortunately, in some areas it is a norm, especially in more populated areas because they tend to be more friendly and free. The democratic areas in America are what we call them, the blue states, the blue cities. When you are among people, you are more accepting of people. In the rural areas where everyone is kept more separated, they are less likely to be accepting of this. It is common knowledge and it is scientifically proven through sociological studies. And so you must live in an area where it is a norm, and I'm happy for you. That is good for the people involved. But for the people who do not live in such accepting places, they are still castigated and discriminated against. And so the normalization needs to spread from the cities to the rural areas. This is why we must celebrate Pride Month instead. And when they say, oh, I'm fine with you being gay, just don't shove it down my throat, there are two things to say to that. Actually, there's only one. It's only, quote, shoving it down your throat if you think it's weird. Because when I think of a straight couple, I don't think of them having sex. When I think of a gay couple, I don't think of them having sex. But for a homophobic person, for a transphobic person, they don't think of sex when they think of a straight couple, but they do think of sex when they think of a gay couple or a trans couple. It's because the person being discriminatory is the weird one, not the LGBTQIA people. And we need to educate them of that. Let's see. Gaming Bacon, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. And intern Danny, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. With your powers combined, you have reset the chat to a 2-star team with 1 more prestige level. Sleepless Dragon, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will enjoy cleaning up yet another glitter bomb. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, okay, I don't care what people are, just as long as people are happy, like my partner and I. That is a good perspective and a bad perspective, depending on how you say the words. This is getting down to the meaning of words and the meaning of phrases, and not just the words that you say, but the way you intend them. It's the same problem as how you say the phrase, all lives matter. So, all lives matter can be, all lives matter. This is good. All lives are equal. But the people who typically say all lives matter in America are saying all lives matter because they're trying to tamp down on Black Lives Matter. And when you say all lives matter as a response to Black Lives Matter, most of them think that they're being more PC, but what they really are doing is just shoving down a minority even more. So just be careful with I don't care as long as everyone just sticks to themselves, because that is a noble purpose, but it can be taken as chud-coded. So you want to balance yourself there. Just be careful with it. Time check. Intern Jax. We have approximately 10 minutes left in this stream. We're in the last 10 minutes. Who will win, SCP-3008 or SCP-096? Intern Thomas. SCP-3008 is a building. What do you mean? What do you mean? Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, interesting. Anyways, I came up with an SCP idea, but I'm not good at writing stories and such. Well, Monster Check, this is your opportunity to get good. If you want your idea to be real, this would be an excellent opportunity to go in line with the Pope's blessing and practice your writing. You can practice your stuff. You can get better. It is a skill to be learned if you want to. Of course, if you don't want to, you don't have to. But if you want to try, practice makes perfect. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say, I'm trying. Good. Excellent. I'm glad you're trying. And if you need help, I would recommend taking writing classes. There are also free courses online, YouTube. You can search for beginner's writing lessons and get some ideas from there on the process of writing to help your education in the subject. Also, check out the guides and essay section in the resources of the SCP Wiki. The guides and essays have a lot of good information about writing SCPs in particular that could help you with your process. A big important thing I learned as a dance instructor in my cover job is that learning how to learn is part of the process. You don't just learn something, you also have to learn how to learn something. And a problem we're having these days is with the standardization of education and the dismantling of the education system by the idiotic Republican Party. People are not learning how to learn. The illiteracy crisis is growing, and people are depending on AI rather than thinking. It's because the Republican Party wants you dumb and enslaved in factory jobs or low-wage jobs so you don't fight back and ask for better things. Just saying. I'm straight, but I support the gay community and trans community because they are people. Interred Pharaoh. That is a great stance to be in. My author on the higher pataphysical narrative level above me is also a cishet white guy. I didn't say you're a white guy, you just said you're het. But they are cishet white guy. They are also an ally to the LGBTQIA community. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say. Or no, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, I believe. Grab yourself a coconut cream pie on your way past the commissary. What happens when you genuinely run out of applicable tests on an SCP? I asked yesterday, my phone died before I can get an answer. Oh, I'm sorry you missed that. I did answer. We never run out of tests. There's always more tests when you get creative. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say. Okay, thanks. Wait, which SCP wiki should I use? The actual SCP wiki, please. Do not use a fandom wiki. Wiki is the SCP wiki. That is scpwiki.wiki.com. It is the SCP wiki that looks like this. This is the SCP database. There is no fandom wiki, no wikia, just this. Now, I was talking about the guides and essay section in the resources tab, by the way. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say, hypothetically. Well, I mean, there are certain anomalies. If they're obsolete, I guess we could lock them down and just contain them. We don't decommission anomalies until we are sure there's nothing else to be learned from them. Also, did I hear narrative layers and author or something? I only caught a glimpse of it. Pataphysics is my favorite subject. Yes, intern Moby. I, Dr. Theron Sherman, exist on this pataphysical narrative level, but of course, my author, who we call sometimes author Sherm or regular Sherm, on the higher pataphysical narrative level above me, is, of course, puppeting my strings and the strings of people contingent to me. Monster Check, thank you for donating again to say. Got it, thanks. Well, gotta go. My partner needs me. If you need help, let me know. Well, it was good to see you again. I hope you don't stay a stranger too far. And good luck, and we'll see you soon. Are you gay? Intern Joseph, I am asexual, the A in the LGBTQIA. So you could, I guess, call me queer or gay as a umbrella term, but asexual is a particular classification. Now, my author on the higher physical level above me, as I said, is heterosexual. And kind of a hoe sometimes. Ow! Shut up! I'm only being honest. Intern IDK, thank you for sending a 6-7 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure that Desk will have a conniption. Dr. Vincent, I've got a song picked out for today, but remind me tomorrow, and I just might take your request. 953, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will spend their doubloons wisely. Intern Billy, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will also spend this doubloon wisely. Intern Silly Core, I've already done the thingy that resets my audio sync. You might need to reset your YouTube video stream to get it to clean up. Intern Buff Kitty, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. And hilariously, that sounds like our already user Kittyfly went to join the Foundation Fitness Initiative. Very funny. All right, Site 42 staff, we have made it to the end of stream. And as I do at the end of every stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. Now, I'm not going to tell you my favorites are the ones I wrote. That would be narcissism. But if you want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can read the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, one tab over, you'll find a list of links. Links that a lot of people asked about in the chat, but then they aren't smart enough to check when I give them this big hint about where the links are. But not you guys, chat. I'm sure you, the Containment Hazard Assessment team, were smart enough to find those links. And when you do, you'll be able to become a Site 42 Patreon or YouTube member to support us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or a YouTube Super Chat to donate to us one at a time. Either way, your direct donations are the quickest way to help us survive here at Site 42, so we appreciate your generosity. And if you are part of the broke gang, if you cannot afford to donate, do not fret. We all understand starving artists. This is an arts community after all. Instead, you can donate your time and effort by being a member of Mobile Task Force Psi 42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, make memes, fan art, clips, edits, out of context compilations of us here at Site 42 and of the SCP projects we support, the SCP Wiki and the authors and artists thereof, the SCP filmmakers, game makers, animators, merch makers, podcasters. You help us to spread the SCP in the algorithm, get more people familiar with us, get more people to join us, and get more people to make bigger and better SCP games and films. We do this as a team, both on the funding side and the engagement side. So I thank you. Mobile Task Force Psi 42, codename the Signal Boosters. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a bit of a rough read. speed round. 399-304-36, read. So, Site 42 staff, this has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. See you in the next video or stream. Today's credit song goes out to the Pope for blessing the SCP Foundation. It also goes out to our favorite old-timey communist. Am I at the point of no improvement? What of the death I still dwell in? I try to excel, but I feel no movement. Can I be free of this unreleasable sin? No, never underestimate my Jesus. You're telling me that there's no hope. I'm telling you you're wrong. Never underestimate my Jesus. 'Cause when the world around you crumbles, he will be strong, he will be strong. The credit song is For the Moments I Feel Faint by Reliant K. A little Jesus freak for the Pope blessing the SCP Foundation. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect.